So Paul Chek's good one. John DeMartini I reckon he's the most influential person probably in my life, like to be able to regulate the emotions or understand.
He's probably a bit more in the mental side of things, more than physical, but it does cross over and definitely helps with your physical well-being.
Absolutely. I like Zach Bush. I think he's really cool.
Hey guys, Jason Ninja here. Today we are treating Ninja's biggest muscle, his neck. Look how long it is. Turn to the side, Ninja. This thing is like a giraffe. But anyway, I like to do some seated or dynamic treatment for people with neck pain, particularly if they're like noticing it when they're trying to drive and rotate their head, they're stuck that way. I really find when you get dynamic and you can start off just in this seated position, you can really make quite quick results because you can get straight into the tissues where they're feeling tight. We can just start static for now, Ninja, but you can quite easily move into some dynamic sort of treatment so you can feel where those tissues are stuck when they are trying to move. But in this position, you're sort of replicating the posture where they might be sitting. I can also just sort of see how they sit, like whether they're hunched forward, whether they poke their chin forward, whether they're sort of really hunched when they're sitting there. So you can sort of take note of those postural things as well and start to sort of talk about that as well. Start to plant some seeds of, okay, maybe you need to work on the front of your shoulders as well. But this area, just sort of these tissues, you can straight away feel where the real tension point is. So I like to start with the knuckles because it's quite a broad pressure, but I can also pick up and feel where there's sort of any tight spots or any particular spots that are really ropey. So we start with these upper traps, do a couple of strips down there, and then we can do one down this medial border of the scap. So what I can also do is just give Ninja a big hug, just so he doesn't, because some people like to lean forward too much, or if they can't really handle the pressure and the pain, they might start to crouch either side. So I can either hold them up straight, or if they're really leaning too far this way, then I can just press on their other shoulder to make sure they're not, leaning too far over to one side. So just tracing down that medial border. Here we can even get Ninja to just start to, so if his pain's on this side, I might get him to slowly rotate to his opposite armpit, just through your head, and then that's it, and then down towards your armpit there. That's it, come back to the middle, rotate all the way to the other side, nice and slow, Ninja, nice and slow. Imagine you're a client, nice and slow. Up, slowly look to the other side, and now go chin to your armpit. So you can just start to feel how it feels all the way down here, because there is a fascial line that runs from this medial border of the scap up into the base of the skull. So sometimes there can be blocks down here, and that's traditionally where you feel people say, I feel it starts all the way down here. So that's where that fascial line can be inhibiting that movement. So once I've done a few broad strokes, we can start to hook in with the thumb. I like to start with the upper traps first, and then we can start to branch further up if we need to. But yeah, most people are tight in their upper traps due to modern lifestyle of looking at your phone, looking at the computer, driving, reading on their Kindle, books, that sort of thing. So a lot of things promote that sort of rounded posture and tightness through the upper traps.
Bench and buys.
Bench and buys, yeah.
They're always good too.
Yeah. So you reckon I've got to be careful, Ninja, doing too much bench?
Bench and buys and don't do anything else.
No, that's why you've got to have good back work in there.
That's true.
Strong back.
Try.
So yeah, we also wanted to chat today, Ninja, and get a bit of your wisdom. What you listen to a lot of health podcasts and things like that. Mm-hmm. What are your top three? Like if people want to sort of delve a bit more into improving their health and fitness or overall physical well-being, what would the top three sort of best health podcasts? What would you recommend?
The actual presenters?
Just the people that you'd say, go and listen to these people. Like a lot of the stuff they talk about is really relevant and that you can take on board.
Yeah. I suppose the one that's current right now, we listened to some Huberman. So
Andrew Huberman, for those that don't know.
Yeah. So he's right into the psychology and but also the connection with movement and things like that. So he's a real science kind of guy. I think he works at one of those big universities in US as well.
One of those ones you have to listen to a couple of times before you understand what he's saying, or is he quite good at verbalising for folk that might not be
He tries to do it in layman's terms as well.
That's good, yeah.
So
Sometimes that goes over my head even. Like,
Yeah.
you hear some of the really smart people talking and go, I get a little bit of what he's saying, but I have to listen to it a few times before I go, okay, now I know what that means.
yeah. So yeah, he had
So
guy,
Huberman.
Huberman.
Yeah.
He had Stuart McMillan. That was who we were talking about. The guy that's trained a lot of sprinters.
Oh, yes.
So,
right up your alley, sprinting, or
yeah.
our alley with
Yeah.
barefoot sprints and
Yeah.
stuff that we do.
So yeah, one to have a look for. He's really reaffirming all the different philosophies that we have. With how good sprinting is for you, for the body and the mind, and just it stretches you right out. But yeah, just all the forces that are going through, and just the purity of sprint. Up
How
against
good it is for the body.
Yeah, and how the body reorganises itself, and knows what to do. But you got to actually build up to it. He was talking about the different phases of gait, which is walking, jog, run, stride, and then sprint. And they're all different.
How many people do you think these days would be in that stride and sprint stage?
Yeah, well,
It'd be a pretty low. Like, ask yourself out there if you're watching this video, how often do you get above a jog or a run, which is more of a steady state sort of speed?
So,
Do you sprint or stride, which is, what was that, like 85 to 90%?
85 to 95 with stride of a maximal sprint.
Effort.
And the sprint is 95% plus, someone's chasing you and you're running for your life type of thing. So, over 30, there's probably 1% of people who actually stride and sprint. And it's such an essential part of being a human. That human experience is the joy of moving, and sprinting is free. But he was also talking about skipping, the plyometric kind of skip. So just low level for a start, and then building that up, how that really helps invigorate the body, coordination and things like that. And just the loading is just so good. But just your patterning is so important. Get a little bit of thoracic rotation, but also express yourself. So that's good. But who else I like to listen to, if I could send people to some people, maybe Paul Chek is someone I've been...
The original? That's probably who got you on it early?
Yeah,
the ones you got hooked to?
Yeah, following him from over... I reckon I've been from 97 onwards, so that's whatever,
22?
28 years.
28,
Yeah, we're in 2025 right now.
That's right, yeah. Maths is a bit off.
So I was doing his Swiss ball stuff, the live ball work.
Is that those live balls we've still got in the gym?
Yeah.
Are they 20 years old, are they?
They're 27, 28 years old. They bought good ones and they're still
going.
Still kicking around. They've been used pretty well. So Paul Chek's good one. John DeMartini, I reckon he's the most influential person probably in my life, like to be able to regulate the emotions or understand.
He's probably a bit more in the mental side of things, more than physical, but it does cross over and definitely helps with your physical well-being.
Absolutely. I like Zach Bush. I think he's really cool. Like just with what he knows and how he's articulates things right from that cellular level, the bacterial, microbial level, kind of through in the soil and in the blood, right through to bigger things, and looking at beauty and joy and connectivity. So
just while you're there, Ninja, we'll just get you to slowly start to rotate your head left and right. So just staying looking forward, but that rotation at that same level. So then just rotating there. So this is what we can start to do. Sorry to cut him off, but just to show you that dynamic sort of work that we can do. And once we find a spot, like if there's a spot here in Ninja's upper trap, which I just flicked, we can just pin that and now get him to move. So if he rotates away, I can pin it, hold it, start to move back towards the camera, Ninja, rotating. That's it. Doing full rotation all the way. That's it. So we're just working all the way through that upper trap, through these muscles here, SCM, scalenes, your splenius capitis all running up there. But also, if he's struggling rotating to this side, I also want to have a look at the opposite side, SCM, because SCM rotates to the opposite direction. So if Ninja's struggling this way, yes, I still want to treat this side because there might be some compression in this side of the neck, but I also want to look at this other SCM because that's what's actually helping to assist to rotate the opposite way. So, because if Ninja rotates this way, we can see it pop up here, this big, thick neck muscle on Ninja. That's the big giraffe neck right there. So we can pin that and just slowly, more passive now, so I can just control his head, let him relax a little bit, feel into that neck there. I can even come back a little bit behind it and then rotate towards. So see if it gets compressed going this way. Yep, can feel a couple of spots in there. And this is the beauty of dynamic. You can just sort of pin and hold as you're moving. I can feel whether certain parts of that sort of the transverse processes and where those muscles are attaching, if they push back into me, that's sort of indicating that those tissues are quite tight or that area is stuck and that joint might even be a bit restricted. So we can just pin around that specific spot and just do small little movements if we need to, or we can start to encourage it to open that way, open this way. We can even close it off a little bit with a little bit of lateral flexion and then open it up with some more. So we're trying to move it through all different range of motion that the neck can go through. And then finish by gouging all the way down. But yeah, we might just leave it there for a quick demonstration. But yeah, if you're struggling with neck pain, dynamics the first point of call for me, and then we can get Ninja down. And once we've sort of calmed those tissues down, we can lie and face down and start to work through there just while they're a bit more at relax or at ease. But yeah, if you're struggling with any neck pain, book in and come and see one of our practitioners. If you're not in Melbourne or you're not local, we do have practitioners all around the world. So even in Finland, we've got people in Finland, in the States, over in the UK. So yeah, jump onto our website, Melbourne Muscular Therapies, and yeah, you can have a look and find if there's a practitioner close by. Thanks guys, see you next time.
Done.